Let me introduce myself to you. This is who I am. No more, no less.
Sponsored by
I want the world to tell me, please. Where do we go? 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 From here.
Welcome to Seeing the Need, Finding the Solution. I'm your host, Phil McIlveen, and we're talking about mental illness and a correlation of health disparities here in Arizona. Among the nation, Arizona is one of the leading states in an increase in numbers of health disparities, which means mental illness tied in with other diseases, diabetes, cancer, and a whole bunch of other aspects of that as well. And today we have some guests on our show to help complement this process of not only educating, but helping get that information out to the community that is viable. No stranger to us today is Tomas Leon, CEO of People of Color Network.
Hey.
Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you.
And today we also have Hedy, Emery, and Richard Moreno from Native American Connections. Welcome, Hedy, and welcome, Richard. Tomas, as usual, let's lead in with you. You can describe a little bit what we're talking about.
Well, thanks, Phil. I know we've been kind of talking about understanding health disparities and a focus on whole health care and what that means, the focus on the mind, the body, and the spiritual component of someone's health and well-being. And we've been talking about some of the integrated healthcare solutions to address those health concerns out there. And really the focus of People of Color Network has been working with people who are experiencing behavioral health challenges, mental health challenges, addictions, and helping them get on a path of recovery and improving their quality of life. And so it's important that when we focus on whole health care, there's more understanding about the mind and the body, and oftentimes that spiritual component is left out or not discussed or brought into really looking at that whole person. And that spiritual and faith component plays a real critical role in someone's belief system and attitudes about health and wellness and recovery. And so we have some providers in our community, and part of our network, Native American Connections, our guest today are one of the founders of People of Color Network. And they have been instrumental in integrating different faith and spiritual and cultural elements into helping people recover from their mental illness and addictions and get on a path of recovery and wellness. And so I'm really excited that they're here today to talk about what they do and how that works, and that it's available for not just Native people but for everybody who are struggling with life's challenges. And so as we move forward, we want to just highlight what's available to people in the Phoenix Valley area here in Arizona. But those people looking at the show from different parts of the community, they too can develop programs and educate their community as well.
Sure. And before I segue into Richard and Hedy over Native American Connections, probably my favorite part of this campaign is the element of stepping forward and having people on the show talking about that spiritual component. As no stranger, I've been in recovery myself for years, and without that element, I know when I was sick with any at that time, which was alcoholism and drug addiction, but you mix in the mental health, you mix in the health disparities, you mix in all those other co-occurring disorders that go along with that. For most of us, we get to that point, or all of us, to the loss of hope. And there's only one way I know to restore that, and that is to lean on others and to have faith in something greater than myself. Even that spiritual component aside, for the ones that may not apply, I always been taught that faith without works is dead. Faith is what you believe, works is what you do. So if you believe you can get better, then the works will match with it. And sometimes some people don't have the ability to do those works, and that's where people like you guys step in and educate these people and help them with their services. So welcome. I appreciate your time coming. Let's start out with Richard, and I'll have Richard lead into Hedy as well. Richard, when it comes to Native American connections and personal experience and or business, whatever you're comfortable with, spirituality, how important is it?
Well, I think that at Native American Connections, what we use is we use the evidence-based practices, which is used throughout the whole country for people that are going through addiction and headed towards recovery. But we also use the practice-based evidence, which at Native American Connections is our sweat lodge, is our talking circle, is all the indigenous practices, the traditional practices that we bring to the table to help the person reach that goal of recovery. And that's what makes us different from other organizations in town. And I think that the spirituality piece is far different from religion. It's far different from faith. It's something that stands alone. And it's what a person brings with them when they come to the treatment center, and it's what they leave with when they're done with their treatment. And the touch points that we have at Native American Connections are that it might be a 45-day, a 90-day stay in treatment, but they have the touch point to come back to the sweat lodge. They build community. They're able to come back to a talking circle. They're able to come back to a Native American AA meeting that we host once a week that numbers in 100 to 150 people each Thursday. And so these touch points are important as far as the spirituality piece comes, because it's a place for people to return back and to reload and to meet with the people that they are in recovery with and to have that support. So there's a big difference between faith, religion, and spirituality, I believe, in my perspective.
And so the viewers get a total view of Native American Connections too, from experience. Native American Connections does not just serve Native Americans. No. So there's a broad scope of aspects of people there that leave with all different sorts of resources and things available to them on a basis in which they can relate to too. So kudos for being able to stretch yourself across the board there and help everybody. You guys have an awesome housing program as well,
yes,
which we'll talk a little bit into as we get into. Hedy, spirituality. One of the things I want to talk on is some of the miracles that you've seen personally. I mean, that's really what it's about, is seeing that miracle.
Yes. I've been able to witness a lot of miracles like that. People come in pretty broken, hurting, and not really knowing how to connect back to themselves. And so in this spiritual program that we have the talking circle, which is talking from the heart and setting a place for people to be safe, and giving them the means to be able to do that in a confidential, secure way, a safe way to be able to talk and share. And when you're doing the talking circle, you're talking about yourself, honesty, and from the heart, and one of the hardest journey I know my elders taught me was, it's from your head to your heart. That's the hardest connection to make, because, you can talk the talk, but it's actually, connecting that from the head to the heart, and you're congruent, being able to walk that talk. And a lot of that part of healing is about that, is teaching them that, is how do we do that? Go from the head, talking about it, but being able to walk that red road, that healing road.
And it's amazing, one of my favorite phrases is between the 18 inches between your head and your heart, which is almost a standard in the medical field. But, one of the things that I have been instilled in me in my faith has always been what comes out of your mouth, it comes the condition of your heart. And as somebody in recovery, I've had many years of thinking of things and ways and behaviors in a certain line that isn't normal. That causes me pain, that causes me agony, that causes me to do things that I really don't want to do, and I lose control of that. And that is when you talked about that safe environment, and one of the neatest things for me was the outside world. It's an amazing disease, addiction, and even mental illness as well. Is how the stigma out there, how people don't really understand it and fearful of it, and people that are fearful of things don't want to be close to it. And very judgmental in many ways too. And for the person who is still suffering, they need that safe place. They need that place where they can relate to, where somebody isn't going to be judgmental and love on them, and get to that point of having a starting point of realizing that there is not only some peace available. I heard this a while ago. Addicts, alcoholics, and mentally ill people are some of the most talented people in the world. And that we were all created imperfect. And this is just on my end, all created perfect. And somewhere down the line in humanity, we all became imperfect. But we all were created in perfect peace. And some of us try to get that peace back by alcohol. Some of us try to get it back by drugs. Some of us try to give it back by other ways. And some of us even try to get it back by suicide, especially for the people that are still suffering too. We got about a minute left real quick. If for the person who's still suffering, I'm going to actually direct you to the camera over here, really short. If you could say one thing out to the person who's still suffering, what would it be?
It would be that there's hope out there, that you just need to reach out to anybody. There's helpers everywhere. Helpers are walking all over the place here in Phoenix, Arizona, and they can direct you, whether it's to us, Native American Connections, or one of the providers that are in the network, one of the providers that's in the Regional Behavioral Health Authority. There's crisis networks, there's the emergency room, there's a lot of places that you can go to. There's the homeless shelter CAS and so forth that would be able to direct people to the resources that they need. So they're not alone. There's many people going through recovery, many people in addiction situations right now that can receive the help. So it's just a matter of speaking out and saying that you need help. And I think it comes down to the pride and the ego, is being able to get past that.
Hedy, to the woman that still suffers, what would you like to say?
I would say there's hope out there, just like Richard said, and they're here. We're all here for a greater purpose in our life, and whatever means we need to do to find that, to find that purpose and that direction, there's help. There's help abound.
There's an amazing amount of resources out there. Please look at the website for more information on Native American Connections, how you can get involved with them, how you can call and get some answers, how you can get some information, as well as People of Color Network. The information will be on the show as well. You can also go to the stnaz.tv website or aztv.com as well for more information on that. If you're somebody out there that doesn't understand and wants to understand those health disparities, and maybe you are living with someone, maybe it's your mother, your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your grandma, we all, and I've learned this from this guy over here, we all have mental health just as well as physical health. And we'll be right back after a moment. We'll have a special guest as well.
Spend all your time waiting for that second chance, for a break that would make it okay.
We are 100% committed to preventing suicide.
To feel not good enough.
We represent 100%.
We represent 100%.
We represent 100%.
We
represent 100%.
I'm Jeremiah. I work at Chrissy Ski and Board in Lakeside, Arizona. They're very convenient, small cars. They get the job done.
I always go skiing, but I didn't have something like this. Convenience, speed.
You have your kids in the back, right? But you're still able to carry your skis, carry your board, whatever you want, while still having your kids in the back. Get it? It gets the job done.
Absolute Computers, building networks, and community business relations, with technology of on-site repair and support by providing reliable, better networking and business solutions. Located at 9210 West Peoria. Absolute Computers. Visit absolutecentral.com.
Native American Connections has been building healthy communities throughout Arizona for nearly 40 years. Our first-class services are designed to help people by improving the quality of their lives. Whether the challenge is substance abuse, mental health, or housing issues, Native American Connections cares. We are here to help. Everyone needs an affordable, safe place to live. Remember us when you are seeking housing opportunities that support your needs. Visit our website at nativeconnections.org, your partner in building healthy communities.
And we're back at Seeing the Need, Finding the Solution with a new guest, which will be around here for a while coming up here. This is Mrs. Suzanne Legander, CEO of STAR. And welcome, Suzanne. How are you?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's start off with, what's STAR stand for?
STAR is Stand Together and Recover Centers, and this is our 25th year in existence. We do so many different things. We work with adults with mental illness, and we have support groups. We have independent living skills. We teach a person who often isolates to get back socially, to interact, to communicate well, to reestablish relationships with friends and family, to develop work skills, and to minimize the effects of their mental illness.
One of the things I really loved when we were at my office and getting involved and going through a lot of your information was is what you guys do, and up and above that too, the element to the homeless population, the element of providing jobs to the homeless population, even on many levels. But let's talk a little bit about the catering. Actually, maybe before we get into that, we'll give them a little time to catch up on the other end. But Stand Together and Recover Centers, how long have you guys been around?
We've been around 25 years. We are the oldest peer-run recovery center in Arizona.
It's amazing how many agencies in Arizona have been in and around this town, but at the same time that have kept such a low profile and do such an amazing amount of work as well too. When you started into your position with STAR, I always ask this with somebody new on the show, where did you get your inspiration from? And there might be many areas, but was there a defining moment that said, hey, this is what I want to do?
My defining moment was I'd been in the behavioral health field for 18 years, and I have had my own personal struggles. I have family members with psychiatric illness, and I found that through the peer recovery model, the best approach often is people further along in their own recovery, helping those that are just starting out. And I found so many times people say, yeah, but have you had schizophrenia? Have you had this? And it's like, well, yes, actually we have people that have, and they're working full time, and they have a wonderful life, and you can too, and they've been where you are. And let me introduce you to a few people.
It's amazing. It's and as you know, one of the things I love to do is my staff consists of very diverse people who have come from a struggle and who are very talented and have been able to and graced enough to be on that other side and be able to be functional. And there is help, there is hope, and there is solutions too. Before we start rolling the B-roll, is what they call it, of the video that we took, I'm going to give you a chance to set it up a little bit.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about the process from somebody who's homeless and to the job and then into the catering.
Okay. Well, we started out offering the support groups, and as people were coming to us, we discovered that one of the things with psychiatric medications is you typically need to eat when you take your medicines, and the low economic population tend to really struggle with food. So what we ended up doing was starting to feed some healthy meals to help a person. It would really reduce their symptoms and their upset stomachs and other things that way. And so we started it out with that, and then we started teaching our members how to cook foods and realized there was really a need there for teaching. So what we ended up doing was we started teaching these skills to our peers, and then we found that we have people who just so happenly have a mental illness that have degrees in culinary arts and things that way. So we now offer it to the community. We have fabulous food, and we deliver it to various events, from a single platter to a meal for 600 people. And you know, it is all peer run, peer delivered. We are very proud of it, and that money turns around and helps us in our program to further the services for those people who don't have insurance or aren't in that are non-Title 19, which means that they have over $903 a month income and are not eligible for the public behavioral health system, their full scope of services.
And in addition to that as well, before I jump in with what people should do after hearing this, that non-Title 19, as Suzanne had stated, is Arizona is one of the only states that classifies people as Title 19 and non-Title 19. Title 19 is usually people who have children and families, and non-Title 19, along with Suzanne's information on the income, is also people who are grown and never had any children, and or their children have been past the age of 18 as well. What Suzanne just talked about was a catering business that is originated by very talented people who are homeless, that are actually, they're serving up to 600 people?
Yes.
So don't be calling other places to order your food for functions, lunches, and businesses, and all that stuff. I mean, you can call STAR, you can call the Stand Together and Recover Centers, you can have things catered. Some of these people have culinary arts and stuff, and just amazing if you saw some of the footage on there too, the cookies and different things. But why not utilize somebody who's giving back to the community in that manner? From what I know, I mean, you guys also do sandwiches and lunches and
Yes.
all sorts of stuff.
Anything you would like to have, we can make. It's not
Anything.
just anything, you just explain what you would like and we can make it for you.
Lobster and crab bisque?
We can. We've done prime rib and lobster and, you know, pretty much anything you would like.
You know, in all seriousness, amazing. And I've been around for a while, been graced enough to be around and involved in quite a bit. And I am so glad that I got a chance to meet you accidentally. I'm so glad to be involved with you folks. I look forward to really hopefully taking that, helping you guys to the next level with that as well. And Suzanne and her organization will also be on here quite a bit over the next year and involved in everything and anything we can actually put them into. Suzanne, you know, obviously with that element, you see everything from the loss of hope to the encouragement, to the smile, to the excitement, to the feeling of somebody that they're worth something. You know, the staff that you guys have as well. What I really am trying to get at is for the person out there, for the company who hasn't used you yet, competitive-wise, but more than that, what does it mean to those people when they get to that point of being able to be of service to somebody?
Our members have told us over and over again, they do not want just a handout. They want to step up. They want to be able to build the skills, develop the work experience so that they can go back into the workforce. Our membership, we work through the Arizona State University Center for Applied Behavioral Health, and we do surveys, and the surveys showed that we had over 55% of our members are either in school, volunteering, or working. And that, when they first start out, is typically maybe 2% or 5%. So by coming to us, getting their life stabilized, getting the resources that they need, they're turning around and giving back to the community. So I think that is a really important message to get out there, that people can recover, people can be tax-paying citizens and earn an income and build that dignity back up so that they feel contributing parts of society.
If you understood that, started off at about 2% when they come in, homeless, off the street, whatever the situation is. They're going to school, they're learning, they got an education, they're working, they're being of maximum service to the community in multiple ways, but up to 55% in reference, and I'll call it a recovery rate, maintained on a daily basis of what they have to do. But that percent, that's a 90 percentile if you look within the scope of it. That means that somebody is doing something correctly. That means that agency is doing something correctly, and that means that the program is working. Over 14,000 homeless people on the street. One agency cannot do it all. And that's where it needs the help of other agencies involved too as well, to get involved. And that means in this case getting involved in letting somebody maybe cater to your business. Also getting involved in some of the other aspects and wishes that they have going on. Your biggest need is what?
Right now, our biggest need is to have some additional funding for the people that are veterans. We have returning veterans who are not eligible through the Title 19 system, and they are really needing our help. We want to be able to help reintegrate them into the community and into their families, and we need funding to be able to sponsor some of these returning veterans.
Before I close this out, I'll recap. So that means that a company who normally spends hundreds and thousands of dollars a year on catering, which can now use it in a manner and order and have anything they want catered to their event. And what her goal, what Suzanne's goal is to help the veterans who are not funded be part of that 55% success rate. So you're not just ordering food for your company anymore. You're now taking somebody who has served for our country and served for your freedom, the one that was able to allow you to have that business and able to allow you to cater that day and able to allow you to be able to be profitable enough to be able to spend that money and be able to give that back to another human being and multiple human beings in the valley. Real quick before we close up, if you could look at this camera to the person who still suffers out there, what did you have to say real quick? We got about 30 seconds.
Okay. There is hope for you, there is help for you, and you can recover. You can have a very good life. You can have the dreams that you wanted to come true if you just reach out, maybe one more time if you've already been reaching out, and get the help that you need. Come to STAR, Stand Together and Recover Centers, and we will give you direction if we are not able to serve you in all ways.
For more information, you can go to starcenters.org. If you understood the show, thank a teacher. And if you were able to watch this show, thank a soldier. My name is Phil McIlveen, and I'll see you next Sunday.